Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our chats with Emily, as we are calling our readings through the poetry of Emily Dickinson, all the poems contained in the Johnson edition. We turned now to poem 81, We Should Not Mind So Small a Flower. It's a fascinating little poem to me for a number of reasons. It is another nature poem, another flower poem, another poem sent to Sue. All of that will matter. I'm fascinated in this poem because I'm reminded of the way in which Emily will use two words repeatedly. We're going to focus on it, especially the two words little and small. It's clear that for Emily, she's very much tuned into the notion that it's the little things that actually matter. Maybe she learned some of this from her study of Wordsworth's Tintern Abbey, little nameless unremembered acts of kindness and love is what defines a great life. We've given full lectures at learnstrong.net. It may be that. It may be other things. I'm fascinated by it. Let's go to work now with some background information. Our assumptions are that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net down that left-hand side, Chats with Emily, our playlist, and I'm hopeful that you were able to experience our introductory set of comments, and I'm hopeful that you've been able to read the previous 80 poems we just finished with Our Lives Are Swiss. Now, the scholar Farr will point out that the small flower here might be the blue gentian that will bloom not in the spring but in the autumn, and I think you can read this poem pretty easily if you understand that. Obviously, we're back to nature as teachers, and that notion has been ubiquitous through so many of these poems. Let's enjoy the poem. We should not mind so small a flower, except it quiet bring our little garden that we lost back to the lawn again. So spicy her carnations nod, so drunken reel her bees, so silver steal 100 flutes from out 100 trees, that whoso sees this little flower, by faith may clear behold the bobolinks around the throne in dandelion's gold. Now I love this, can I say little, and it's okay, right? Can I love this small poem, this little poem? And notice again, she begins with this pronoun we. I think she loves this pronoun because it's inclusive, right? She's saying all of us should not mind so small a flower. You remember in poem 79 that she said smallest robe. It is in the very first poem that the great, she says, do seek the small. And this use of the word small will happen in 77 of her poems. I think it's significant that right away we point this out. Again, if the flower is the blue gentian then that blooms in autumn, then that does make sense. Notice, we should not mind so small a flower, except it quiet bring our little garden that we lost back to the lawn again. In other words, we're back now into autumn. And all of the beautiful flowers of the spring summer have now come and gone. And that's the point of our Trinity in the second stanza. So spicy her is, of course, the garden. So spicy her carnations nod. Notice the language, spicy, so drunken reel her bees, so silver steal. Notice that you got spicy, drunken steel, 100 flutes from out 100 trees. In other words, it is majestic, it is wonderful. The time of spring and summer is no doubt wonderful. However, she loves this small flower. That whoso sees this little flower, and now we go from small to little. You'll remember that she uses small in the first poem we studied. She uses little in the second poem that we studied, Little Forest. And 172 poems collectively, she will use this word little. You'll remember that she talked earlier in poem 77 about the littlest robe, the smallest robe. That whoso sees this little flower, by faith, that's the key word it seems to me in this poem, may clear behold the bobolinks around the throne in dandelion's gold. In other words, what is she saying at 2a? Well, she's saying, if you know how to study nature, then you'll know how to think about and forecast the whole notion of afterlife, preparing those who wish to believe in it, the afterlife of heaven, right? At 2b, I love her word choice. I love spicy, drunken steel versus faith. I like that. And again, her use of the word small, 77 poems, and little, 172 poems. I love that right away at 3a, right away at poem 1, it was the great do seek the small. And in some ways, that was a forecastive line. It tells us a lot about what's coming. At 3a, how do we relate this to other titles? Well, Emerson's Nature comes to mind. Obviously, Thoreau's Walden as well comes to mind. And finally, at 3b, what was a time that nature taught you something and you were kind of blown away by that teaching? Thank you.